Good morning. This sweet girl is Laguna, and she is the reason that we're having this conversation today. She is so soft. She is part Boston Terrier, and oh my gosh, she has that silky feeling. Oh, I love it. So, today, our training tip Thursday, we're going to talk about stranger danger dogs. Whether that's in your car or your house, on a walk, behind your fence, and like what they're really saying. And I'm sorry, she's comical and I love watching her. She just came to my house an hour ago. I had to go in and get Cats off to surgery, and I decided to bring her home for the morning while I'm working from home. And she is so happy to be out of the shelter. She's been playing with John Boy. They made friends in 5 minutes. He's a little confused as to why she's so excitable in the house, because I don't normally allow running and zoomies and jumping off the furniture in the house. We sent them outside and they played outside for like a half an hour, but Laguna was getting cold. And so he's a little, if you hear me have to get on him, he's just not sure what she's doing, because in my house, those are against the rules. But she is a happy girl having a good time, and I don't want to discourage that because she needs this stress break. So I am allowing a little bit of rule breaking because she deserves it, right? Look at that. I'm sorry. How freaking cute is she? So anyways, Laguna went out on foster to adopt for 2 weeks, and they found that she took to their family immediately. But outside of them, when new people would come in, she had a hard time with that. That's stranger danger. Sometimes when they're behind a fence in a kennel, people call it territorial, and there are versions of that. Absolutely. Laguna's is stranger danger, okay? So when she is behind a kennel, a fence, she's in a crate, she's in a car, even in a house, as big as they are, it's still walls and a ceiling where she is limited on her ability to move. She feels trapped. She feels she cannot get away from what she views as something scary. Okay, there he goes. Look, he's starting to figure out it's okay and mom's not mad. Look at that. She needs this so much. Sorry, this is my favorite part of what I do. This is the part that makes you put up with all the crap that comes with it. Yeah. Okay, so anyways, I'll try not to get too distracted, but it's so much fun. That is because she is trapped, okay? And we might know that she's not trapped, but her brain says, I am trapped. And that's the important part, is what her brain is telling her. I personally have not spent any time with Laguna out at all. I watched the dog testing that we did with her, but I didn't hold her leash. I didn't pet her. I just watched it to help the staff know if it was going well or not, and when we could drop leashes and let them be like this. Because if you don't know, before I came and took this job, I was a full-time dog trainer, and I specialized in behavior, and especially what was perceived as aggressive behavior. So anything that involved snapping, growling, any kind of that. So I spent years doing that. I have been working with dogs for 15 years, probably worked with about 6,000 dogs between all the shelters and rescues that I have fostered for and worked with at the shelters. I think I've had over 600 in my house in 15 years. So I'm pretty well versed on this. And the crouchy behaviors are my favorite. Laguna's in her kennel when she came back, and I walked by and she's, growling and got her hair up and trying to be scary, which I know she's full of crap because I can tell. And so I told her just that much, and you can see clearly I'm not scary. So I told her as much, you're full of it. And of course I went to open her kennel and she backed up and went, no, just kidding. Anyways, she, because I knew she was full of crap. She was scared, and she was hoping that she could bluff me and get me to leave her alone. Problem is, of course, then when it works, they keep doing it. The other problem that people want to do then is we'll just force her to meet people, and that'll make her better. And it won't. It absolutely won't. It will not fix your dog. You have to do it in controlled situations. You have to set it up. You have to do it properly. You have to do it one person at a time. The more people she meets in this proper way, the better she'll get. But some dogs need you to do it a certain way all the time. It's a trust thing. She needs to trust that her person is listening. So when you've got a dog on your leash and your best friend just walked in the door, or your family member that you know won't hurt your dog, and the dog is telling you by either cowering, backing up, growling, snapping, hair up, whatever it takes, whatever it is they're showing you, that they really don't want to meet that person, and you say, it's okay, they're fine, and you try to force that meeting, then the dog goes, you're not listening. You're not hearing me, so I can't trust you. Because that's what people do. They think if I just say, it's okay, in this soft, happy voice, then the dog will get it. But that's not true. The dog doesn't get it, and that's why it doesn't work. Now, some people will say, well, once in a while my dog will be fearful, then once the person pets them, they're fine. Okay, sure. But the problem with that is you're teaching them that they should be fearful first, and then get through the petting, and then see if they're okay. If you reverse how you work with them, then you can get them to trust that they're okay before they get the pet, okay? Because we don't want to put negative connotations on being petted. With that said, another thing that happens when your dog is beside you losing their mind or scared and fearful, and you go, it's okay, you're fine, don't worry, and you're petting them, and you're talking in a soft voice, right? Okay, so dogs are fearful. Your dogs are fearful, and you're petting, and you're talking in a soft, maybe even a squeaky voice, which implies squeaky in the animal world is an injured or scared animal, okay? So now you sound like a scared animal with your scared animal, and you're petting for something that you don't want. Now, when your dog does something good, what do? Oh, that's a good girl. Oh my goodness, you're such a good girl. When they do something like that, and you go, it's okay, it's okay. Guess what? You're petting and you're encouraging bad behavior because you're saying, this is what I want. Even if you go, no, don't do that. But then you pet and say, you're okay. Your voice said no, but your pet said that's good. And you're saying, I agree with you. That person is scared. So then the dog goes, I'm confused. And I can't trust you. I can't trust what you say. I can't trust your body language because you're very conflicting, okay? And we're rewarding for things we don't want. So that is why 6 years from now, you'll still be going, it's okay, it's okay. Because you're not telling, you're treating the dog at that point like your toddler. Your toddler can understand your words because you've taught them how to talk, right? So they get your words. But the dog doesn't. The dog still speaks dog. So they're going by your actions. And your actions say, you are right. You should be afraid. And I am with you on that. And when you insist that your dog go forward to meet people they don't want to, or allow people to come up to them when they don't want to meet them, you are saying, I'm not listening to you, so you can't trust me. So what do you do in those situations? You want to build the trust, okay? So Laguna's behavior is one of those that you have to have the person she trusts learn how to do it. I can go and introduce her to people and do it the right way and she'll be fine. But the second I send her home with a new person, if they don't do it and know what to do, then she's going to be right back in that same boat. She has to know that the person holding her leash or the person standing next to her or the person in her house is advocating for her, is listening to her, and is going to be there for her. So that is why when it gets suggested, we'll just work with her. Well, I can. I absolutely can. I have that ability. And I promise you, I could probably get her to meet new people within a day or two. No problem, because I know exactly what to do. But the average person out there doesn't. They do it the way humans would do it. They do it the way they think it should be done. They do it the way it works for them because they're impatient. Because, by the way, the other thing that happens when you've got a dog acting like a fool next to you and you go, you knock that off. You stop it right now. You know what the dog hears? Oh, you don't like that person either. Now, that's not what we're saying, though, is it? We're telling the dog that we don't like what they're doing. But what the dog sees is you were fine until that stranger came in. Now that that stranger came in, you're mad. You're upset. You're stressed. The stranger is bad. I told you they were bad. They don't understand that you're upset with them. They don't have that concept. I don't care if you look at them, if you get on them. In their brain, everything bad belongs to that person. So anything you do to the dog while they're upset at that person is the stranger's fault. Because you didn't do that to them till that stranger came in. So you're not helping them. So that's a behavior, and that's what happens in a lot of these things, is that the behaviors that a dog has needs to be worked on with the people who they are going to live with, the people who are going to be introducing them, the people who are going to be handling them. Almost all behavior needs to be adjusted and worked with the person that they're going to be with. And then you can still get a trainer to help you, but the trainer's there to guide the person and let the person do it. Yes, I can do it all day long, and she'll trust me, and she'll be amazing at my house. I'm going to send her to your house, and you're going to be like, what happened? You don't have the trust with her. You have to have it. So how do you get the trust? You listen to your dog. If your dog is saying, I don't want to meet them, even if it's just cowering, not interested, might be as simple as lip licking, closing their mouth, when they normally have their mouth open and they're waggy and all of a sudden they get still and close their mouth. Sure, they might tolerate someone petting them, but they're telling you they don't like it. And they may not stay that way forever. Eventually they might start getting grouchy because no one's listening and learning from their lip licking, their mouth closing, their stillness, because those are dog signals. Other dogs read that and understand what's going on. People don't. People will tell me all the time, oh, my dog's fine. And I'm sitting there going, no, it's not. You can pet them. No, your dog is telling me not to pet them. And then 5 minutes later, that dog loves me. And they'll be like, I don't understand. You didn't even pet them. And they never make up to people like this. But you didn't pet them. Why didn't they love? Why is that happening? Because I listened and I respected what they were telling me. And then they go, oh, she gets it. She's listening and I can trust her. So then they make up to me faster because I understand what to do. So I totally get that people don't know what to do, but that's why you need to hire a trainer. Not a sit, stay, don't move trainer, okay? That's dog obedience. If a lot of trainers out there are dog obedience only. That's like the easiest thing to learn. It's the first thing you learn. Great, we need it. I'm not saying there's anything against it. What I'm saying is those people don't get a lot of behavior classes in their dog training class, okay? Because it's all about sit, stay, down, do what I say. And you can change a behavior with what you say. You could teach them, settle on by a word and stuff like that. But then you have to, she made me lose my train of thought. But then you are micromanaging your dog, and you have to tell them every little thing. And I don't know about you, but I don't have the time, the patience for that. And to be honest, I'm a very impatient person. Dog training actually has taught me to be more patient. I'm actually better with dogs than I am with people because I had to learn how to be patient with dogs to get where I wanted to be. I didn't go through a class like that with people, so that's just something I have to learn to live with. John Boy is coming and sitting by me because she's getting a little much and he would like her to settle down. So he's coming and telling me, Mom, can you help me with her? And so now you see I'm putting my arm between them and I'm blocking because she just wants to play because she's been in a kennel. Well, she's been with us for over a month, maybe 2. And then she was in another shelter before that. So all she cares about is playing. That's all she wants. And he's asking for help from that because if he wanted to play with her, he wouldn't be bothering me. But he's still confused by this behavior and why Mom is allowing it. So he's trying. Is he? Oh, look at that. She's very patient. Anyways, sorry. These kind of dogs make the best dogs ever because when you get through them and you build that trust, they are your best friend. They will listen to you. They will behave. When I took a dog from this particular shelter over a dozen years ago, she said to be dog friendly. She was not. She had not had dog friends for the 3 years that she lived at the shelter. So we had to work on it. And once I got her trust, let me tell you, that dog would do anything for me, including meeting people she didn't want to meet and behaving because she trusted me. And she would look at me and go, "Are you sure?" And if I said yes, she'd be like, "Okay, I am trusting you. I'm putting my life in your hands because I trust you." And once we got her back with her dog skills, she became so good. Let me tell you, when I first took that dog home, this is not Laguna. This is my dog that I adopted 12 years ago, who has now passed away. She lived at that shelter for 3 years, which I totally don't advocate whatsoever, because of the behavior issues that come with it. When I took her home, she bloodied every dog she met for like the first month. I mean, full on bad. And that's why I had to start learning to do what I do. So, but we worked with her. And I will tell you that I would say probably within a year, we had it to the point where she was the first dog who got to meet my new dogs when I brought them home. So if she was here today and I brought Laguna home today, I would have introduced her to Laguna first because she was so good at it. She wasn't dog aggressive. She had been denied her dog skills. She had lost them. They had been replaced with stuff she didn't know what to do. And she needed someone she could trust to teach her how to behave like a dog again. And we brought back what she already had. And I didn't know if I was going to get it, but I was going to try. And I'm not going to lie, I cried a lot because I wasn't a dog trainer and I didn't have a crap idea of what I was doing. That is John Boy trying to get Laguna's attention because now he's decided to play. Who knows? So anyways, that's not Laguna. Please don't put that story and mix that up with her because that is not her at all. But I just want you to know, but you have to trust. You can't, these are not things that some random stranger, you can't send her to a dog trainer and then have her come back and be perfect with new dogs. They're still going to have to teach you and build that trust to get it. Sometimes you can do that to get started, but in the end, you still have to do the work. You have to be that one. Sorry, it's so hard. I should have known I wasn't going to be able to stay on focus with all of this. What else do I want to say? So how do you build trust with your dog? You listen, okay? That's your first step. So if I've got a dog over here, and I like to be visual, right? So I've got a dog here, and my friend is approaching, and my dog starts changing. I'll say, I will put my hand out and I'll say, "Don't come any closer. She's not ready to meet you," or he. And I will make them stand over there. And then we will talk from that distance. And then if this dog starts to feel a little better, I'll be like, "Okay, I'm going to move towards you." Why? Because when I move towards you, I'm saying, I trust you. Okay? So I'm going to see if my dog will come with me. If the dog refuses, I'm going to say, we're not ready yet. The dog comes a foot or two closer, because that's all I'm going to move, is a foot or two, and let the dog see how things go. The dog is getting to know that other person from this distance. I don't care if it's 100 feet. That dog is getting to know that person. They can smell them. They're watching them. They're getting a sense of how they're acting. They're watching to see what they do, and that helps them feel better. You ever been out and there's people around you and you kind of watch them for a little bit to try and figure out why they're there, and then you realize, you start to get the feeling that it's okay? Nope, just me? Okay, that's fine. I was born not good with people. As a child, I trusted no one until you earned my trust. And I think that's probably why I'm attracted to these dogs, because I understand them. You know, I'm the person that goes into a bar and I am scanning the room to see who's doing what and catching a bit of who's too drunk, who's having an attitude in the corner, who's fighting with their girlfriend or their boyfriend over here. I do that. I don't do it on purpose. It's just who I am, right? I probably was born a natural cop. I'm not, though. Versus my brother, who was born by the same parents, mind you, fearful of no one. Literally, strangers would walk by as a baby and he'd just reach for him. You can take me, it's fine. I was 5 years old. If you even looked at me funny, I'm screaming bloody murder and calling the cops. My mom had a boss who tried to be my friend forever, and I refused. Never, ever. When we'd go near a pool, I had to be 10 feet from it because I didn't trust that the water wasn't going to suck me in and I was going to drown, right? My brother literally walked off like a cartoon character into the water, drowning. People are pulling him out, and he's laughing his butt off because he has no clue. He doesn't care, right? No fear. I'm afraid of everything. So I am a trust but verify kind of person, and he was just to trust everything. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So anyway, so now I'm going to stop them. Person I know or person I don't know, I don't care. My dog is my dog, and they need me. And I'm going to do what's best for them. If someone is approaching and not listening, then the next thing you need to do is step in front of your dog. And I'm going to do my best to show you, what that looks like with two crazy dogs. So John Boy, come here. Come here. I know, she's probably not going to let you. Can you stand? Can you give him a minute? You stand here for a minute, John. Somebody's approaching, and I don't want them to come near him. I am literally going to step forward in front, and I will hold that leash behind me. Even if my dog kind of wants to look around, I'm going to try to hold their body behind me. Why? Because what I'm saying is, I'm telling them, no, my dog doesn't want to approach you. I'm verbally going to say it too. But to my dog, I am saying, I got you. You're safe. Stay right here. I won't let them get you. My back to the dog says I trust the dog. My front to the person coming says I am going to protect you. It's not necessarily that I don't trust them, but nobody puts their back to someone they don't trust. Most people, maybe my brother would have as a child, I don't know. But myself or people like me, most of the time, if you're not trusting what someone's doing, you're going to kind of keep yourself going around that way. Because you want to be ready in case something goes wrong, and you want to be able to protect yourself, right? So that's what a dog does. A dog will keep themselves facing. They're not going to put their back to somebody that they don't trust. Even like with your child, you have hold of your child's hand, and say a dog is coming at you and you're afraid, you put your child behind you, right? Or you pick your child up, which is, that's kind of iffy when you got a dog coming at you, but that's a different story. So you're going to put your child behind you to protect them, right? You're going to go through something scary, you're going to go first. You've got a fire, you're not putting your child in front of you and saying, you walk through the fire first, right? You're going to go through first and have them behind you or up against you with something covering them, right? Again, kind of in the weeds, but trying to get that idea that you're showing them that you are going to protect them. So when you step in front of your dog, you are letting the dog know with body language, you are going to protect them. They will listen to that better than they're going to listen to you go, don't worry, buddy, I got you. Now, I do say that to my dog, but I don't say it in a soft tone. When John Boy was having his fearful issues, I would say, I got it. I got you. It's a firmer tone because firmer tone means you are in charge. You have to be in charge. If I go, I got you, buddy, it sounds like maybe I got you, right? And maybe I can't trust, okay? So they need you to be that confident, I got you, and you need to be respectful. In the dog world, petting is like being hugged, okay? And hugging is really something that is only you should do with dogs who are really okay with it. Petting a dog is like hugging them. So you walk up to a stranger and they go, oh, I'm a hugger. Can I hug you? Do you want to be hugged by every stranger? Because I can promise you, I don't. And if a stranger tries to run up and hug me, I'm probably going to be like, excuse me? right? So when a person comes up on a dog with their hand out to pet, the dog goes, excuse me? But they do it with brrr, because they don't have words. And then they're aggressive. But no one would say I was aggressive by going, excuse me, I don't want to be petted by a stranger. Or hugged by a stranger. Sorry, got my language different. So, there's that. So you're going to want to listen. I'm trying to figure out what else I want to do. You're going to want to listen. You want to stop people from coming at your dog. Now, when it comes to actually trying to, get better, so you're setting up your situations. You're going to have a friend come over and you're going to tell them what to do ahead of time, right? You're going to say, don't come at my dog. Don't reach for my dog. Come in and say hi. And also don't stare at my dog. Okay? Why? Because in the dog world, staring is a challenge. Do you want to fight? Because I could kick your butt. I'm willing to go into the ring and fight with you. In our world, it's polite. Hello, how are you doing? We look at each other. In the dog world, this is polite. I know, total opposite. That's why it gets screwed up, okay? So if you don't learn dog body language, you're not going to be able to understand what your dog is telling you. I have dog body language classes on our website, super cheap, $15. That'll teach you all kinds of stuff about what they're telling you and classes on how to read dogs together, okay? Past that, we also have very cheap dog training on there. I'm going to train you. I charge $100 an hour in the real world. You can get it for $25 through the shelter, and it goes to the shelter. I just do it because I want dogs to get trained. I want people to be able to afford it, okay? So there is help at cost that you can afford. Anyways, you're going to set your person up. They're going to come in. They're not going to do those things. They're going to listen to you. If they're a person that won't listen to you, don't pick them. Pick somebody who will listen to you. My mother-in-law gets to be my guinea pig a lot. She will come over. She is great at listening. She follows all my directions. She'll ask me before she does something to make sure it's okay. And so I use her all the time to help dogs get better when I was dog training regularly. Hi, buddy. So when it comes to how do you know when it's time to start changing positions, watch your dog. If your dog is fearful or growling, and then suddenly they start coming up or they stop growling and they seem like they're relaxing, then that's when you go, okay, they might be ready. If your dog starts to move forward towards the person, we can let them as long as it's in a nice way. We never want to let them meet somebody when they're grouching. I don't know how many people would bring their dogs to me, be like, I just let them run up, growl at them, and then after a while they're okay. You know what you just taught your dog to do? Bite them first, find out if they're nice later. That's not acceptable. Even if all they're doing is running up, growling, and then figuring out, based on how the person acts, determines whether or not they agree with them, you're teaching a very bad habit and teaching a dangerous habit. And it's not the way to work. Okay, I get that all the time. People are like, oh, it's fine. You just pet him. He'll be fine. I know he's growling at you, but once you pet him, he'll quit. I'm not doing it because I'm not going to disrespect what the dog is telling me. I sure don't want to be telling people, don't hug me, and they force me into a hug. I don't want somebody trying to kiss me when I don't want to be kissed, right? That's wrong. And unfortunately, a lot of people do force their animals and sometimes their children into situations that they're not comfortable with. And it's not a good thing. So, you're going to want to watch those things, but you're going to need to know what those things look like. You need to know your dog. What does your dog look like when they're relaxed? What does it look like when they're not relaxed? Because every dog has their own signals, the same way that all people have their own traits. Biting nails, chewing on straws, toothpicks, biting on ice, playing with their hair, chewing on their hair. There's all kinds of things that we all have, and we need to know what those signs are. And you're not going to push this. And then you're going to do it over and over again with the same person until the dog makes friends with them. And then the next person and the next person. And you're going to have to get comfortable with the idea that your dog is not going to like every person that comes to your home or every person they see out. Because I don't care how friendly a dog is, there's always someone they don't like. for good reasons sometimes, and sometimes not. So like my dog Dozer is super social. He loves every person. He's met one person that he would have bit if they had pushed it. One. What that tells me is I can trust his opinion on people, right? He knows the good guys from the bad guys. The boxer that I adopted from the shelter, you couldn't trust her opinion because everybody was bad, even if it was my best friend since I was 5 years old. Her opinion means everybody sucks. She'd live on an island by herself if I had to let her. So, you know, you have to be able to show your dog that they can trust you. You have to go slow. You have to be controlled, and you have to be ready to accept that maybe my dog won't meet everybody and won't enjoy everybody, and that they might have a limit on how many strangers they can have around them at one time. They may not be able to do a whole family party that you only have over twice a year, and that's it, okay? If you're super social and your dog isn't, then you need to work on finding where are they comfortable at in your home, being left alone. And then when you have, like, say, 5 different days in the week people come over, your dog can handle 2. The other 3, they need to be away, in a room, having a good time by themselves so that you're showing them that they're okay. Do not wait till the person gets there and your dog acts up and then put them away. If your dog acts up unexpectedly, that's one thing. You can't really help that. But a lot of times people go, well, we're just going to try this. So we're going to have her out. And when somebody comes over and she throws a fit, then I'll just put her up after. But what you're teaching her is, I threw a fit. I didn't like the stranger. And then mom put me away. So I was right because I had to go hide from the stranger. Mom made me hide from the stranger. Oh, this one piece of hair is driving me nuts. Sorry. It's always up. I must have a little cowlick there. Anyways, you don't care. So if you know your dog is not ready to meet these people, or these are people that are literally going to be there once a year and your dog is not going to make up with them enough to remember them for the next year, don't even bother. Put the dog away before they get there. It could be anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes ahead of time that your dog needs to be put up. Sometimes in the beginning it needs to be a lot. Later you can do it faster so that they're not getting the idea that when strangers come, I need to hide, okay? Instead, you're saying, I'm going to set you in here. Guess what? You get special treats, you get special Kongs, you get things that you don't get any other time. You go in here, have a good time, and we'll put on some noise blocking stuff like fans, low volume TV, low volume radio, whatever works for your dog. So you're going to have all this figured out ahead of time. And don't bother. I don't try to get my dogs to be friendly with the postman. You know why? Because half the time I'm not here when the postman comes. And it changes. And you know what? I don't need them to be friends with the postman. I don't. But if it's my kids, my mother-in-law, somebody who comes over regularly, that's a person I might try to get them to be friendly with. John Boy, I got him friendly with the UPS guy because we had the same UPS guy for 3 years. Unfortunately, he retired and I miss him. He was great with the dogs. Every time we had dogs in the office, he was always great with them. And patient, and he listened. So I did I did work with John Boy to get used to him because he was the same carrier all the time. I knew it because he'd already done it for a year before John Boy came along, and he listened. And then he was going to be somebody that John Boy had to deal with nearly 5 days a week because we get packages a lot. And John Boy learned to sit and let him pet him, he'd give them 5. Of course, he always had a treat, but he made John Boy sit, give him 5, and when we got to the point where he would touch his hand real quick, then we got to the point where we worked on it farther, and the guy was really great about that. Not everybody is. If you got somebody who's not going to listen to you, don't bother with trying to get your dog good with them because they could ruin all the good work that you're putting in. I know I'm talking forever, but that's because there's so much to this subject. It's kind of hard to just leave you hanging with so this is what is wrong, and then and I'm simplifying this, okay? Like, I'm trying to simplify this into very small things. There are a lot of things that go into all of this. Honestly, the fear of strangers, the fear of anything, any kind of growling, barking, even being aggressive, almost always comes from some form of insecurity. I mean, think about it. When you're not sure about things, it can make you grouchy. So you gotta, that's what happens, is you gotta work on their insecurity, period. That's how you really do them the service, is work on their insecurity, because if you can get rid of that, you can take away a lot of anxiety and make them so much happier, just in life in general. And who doesn't want to lose anxiety and feel better? That includes our dogs. Putting them on medication might help you get there sooner, but it isn't the end-all fix. It is what people are hoping for is a quick fix. And only for the dogs who actually have like chemical imbalances do those meds fix them. The majority of the time, all you're doing is putting a Band-Aid on it, and eventually you're upping the pills until they're maxed out and they're still having bad behavior, because you're just throwing meds at it. Like if you're going through a depressive period and you get put on meds, but you don't have a chemical imbalance that needs to be adjusted, you're just having a bad time. It's not gonna, fix what you're depressed about, right? You're still depressed. If you're depressed about losing someone or a situation, you've got to work through that. And the dogs do too. So medicine can be helpful to get where you need to go, but it's not an instant fix, and it's not the end of it. You have to fix the symptoms so you can get rid of the meds. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm done. I've talked long enough. I'm about to lose my phone because she's getting so excited because she just feels so good. Oh, and there it goes again. Okay, so y'all have a good day. I'm going to get them outside to run off some energy. Bye.